Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sah Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, may He protect us both. May we both enjoy together. May we both exert together. May our studies become brilliant. May we not become disputatious and hate each other. Om, peace, peace, peace. Welcome back, Hari Om, everybody. Let's start with the chant of Bhaja Govindam. The 5 verses which we did initially. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudamate. Samprapte samnihite kale, nahi nahi rakshati dukrin karane. Moodajahi dhanagama trishna kuru sadbuddhim manasi vitrishna. Yallabhase nija karmopatam vittam tena vinodaya chittam. Nari sthana bharana bhidesham dristva maga moha vesham. Etan mam savasadi vikaram manasi vichintaya varam varam. Nalini dalagata jalamati taralam tattva jivitamati shaya chapalam. Vidhi vyadhyabhimanagrastam lokam shokahatam cha samastam. Yavadvitto parjana saktah tavan nija parivaro rataha. Pascha jivati jara jara dehe vartanko pina prikshati gehe. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudamate. Samprapte samnihite kale, nahi nahi rakshati dukrin karane. Samprapte samnihite kale, nahi nahi rakshati dukrin karane. We chant Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu as an invocation. Is for the reason because 6 days of the week, the rest of the days, our mind is completely involved with the nitty-gritties of the world. What's happening outside, what's happening in my house, what's happening in job front, what's happening in domestic front, lots of confusion and thoughts are here and there everywhere. To such a person, it becomes very difficult to concentrate on any concept or subject. So to bring the mind, which is vagued, moving everywhere, to a point of focus, we chant Sahana Vavatu. So invocation, every text when you start, you have to start with an invocation and then you move on. And naturally, the 5 verses of Bhaja Govindam. So I'll chant the verse which we are going to do today, and then I'll read the meaning and then go for explanation. Nalini dalagata jalamati taralam tatva jeevitamati shaya chapalam Vidhi vyadhyabhimanagrastam lokam shokahatam chasamastam. As a water droplet on a lotus leaf trembles, so also this life in you is extremely fickle, full of disease and vanity. Understand this world is filled with sorrow. Bhaja Govindam is a very, very beautiful text, 31 verses. So it's just a good sing-song thing. So you can even by heart it if you want, right? By hearting looks a little difficult because it's Sanskrit words and all. Actually, it is not. So you just have a training. What I used to do to by heart is every time I'm traveling, especially in buses, wherever, then we chant Bhaja Govindam. So Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Mudamate. And then second verse, Mood Jahi Dhanagam Trishna, Kuru Satput, I don't remember. Then I look at the book. And once I look at the book and get the Kuru Sat Buddhim, Manasi Vitrishna, once I get that line, then I have to start right from first. So this is like a punishment to the mind to say, why did you forget it? Go back again. So this is the way you by heart the whole Bhaja Govinda. Why I'm telling you to by heart is, first, you learn the meaning of the Sanskrit, then you go through the English translation. It makes a much, much more sense to study and then imbibe it in your life. And while cooking or while doing any activity, this background continuously goes on. The same is good enough for even Kabir Dohas, which we used to do in the classes. Guru Gobind Dono Khade Kake Lage. So it's constantly going on, churning behind in your mind, and automatically things happen. So let's start with explanation of this. The problem with these verses, especially Bhaja Govindam, till the 6th verse, when newcomers are coming initially to say that, okay, let me listen to what are the higher aspects of life, it is showing that perhaps it becomes a little pessimistic. What is life? What is there? There is nothing there. It's only crying. So it's not that. When we use the word pessimistic, a pessimist is one who sees the world with a negative tinged glasses, but has no solution for it. These are the people who just cry saying things are going wrong, but they don't know how to go about it. Bhaja Govindam does not function with that attitude at all. Bhaja Govindam gives you the problem in case you are not aware of the problem. To be honest, majority of us are not aware. Okay, you'll come to know when we go. Because we take life for granted. And that's what this verse is. Simple. As a water droplet, Nalini Dalagata Jalamati Taralam. When I want to view my life, you cannot find a solution to a person's problem from the strata on which the problem was created. So where the problem, which mental plane of consciousness the problem was created, you have to move to a higher plane of consciousness for the solution. You can't be in the same station and address the problem. That will be foolish. In fact, Archimedes gives this lovely quotation. He says, Give me a lever long enough and a fulcrum on which to place it, and I shall move the world. The whole world can be moved. You want me to find out what that world is? I'll tell you. Only thing is, I need a place outside the world, an outside view of my own life is called a life of objectivity. Objectivity is a third person's attitude, only the attitude, towards one's own life. So when in retrospect, one person looks at his or her own life, then Bhaja Govindam makes a lot of sense. What is my life? What is my life? Nalini dalagata jalamati taralam. Nalini dalagata in water, jalamati taralam. The lotus leaf, Nalini dalagata means the lotus leaf. How many of you have seen the lotus leaf? It's quite big, right? And it's there with the lotus flower. So majority of people focus on the lotus flower. They don't see the leaf. Sometimes go to that leaf wherever, if it's possible, and try to put a drop of water on it. As soon as you put a drop of water, it keeps shaking it and ready to drop down. So here, the big lotus leaf, the water drop is not in the center. The water drop is at the end of that petal where it's ready to come down back into the pond. That is the kind of living I have. Nalini dalagata jalamati taralam, dying to go back. Life itself is so temporary. We love romanticizing that whole attitude of life is so short. Zindagi kaisi hai paheli hai. You know, we make these songs with an attitude that is just poems. What's the big deal? Enjoy life. Well, that will come when it comes, and when it comes, we are completely upset. You cannot put a finger and say, this is the time or place where death will come. There's this beautiful story somewhere I read, I don't know the details of it, where this person is going through the marketplace and he comes face to face with death. And the death has a surprised look on his face. And that man, seeing death, runs away, takes a horse and gallops to a different city altogether. And there he meets his end. So after death, that is after dying, he meets death again and says, how come you come here? The death is saying, I had the surprise look because you are here now. How come I'm supposed to take you there in a different city? Where it will come, we have no idea. Cases and cases and cases we have known, where a person is coming from office, sits on a chair and collapses there. We went through a case where a husband and wife just got married, probably a year. They didn't have children. And the husband was so much in love with the wife that night when she was sleeping, he used to sit like this by the side of a chair, just watching her sleep. So 2-3 times she opened her eyes and she got shocked that he is just looking at her. And then she used to say that, why are you looking? He said, "Nahi, I just like to watch you sleep. It's so beautiful." One day, true story, okay? One day, she got up and she, what are you doing? Why are you still watching? He died in the same way. He was looking at his wife and he died there on the chair only. They found out that he is already dead. It comes and goes like this. That is the difference of life. When you use the word death in an idea, as far as Vedanta is concerned, it represents change. So here death means death, but it represents change also. When you change from one situation to another, it's called death of the previous experiences and birth of the new experiences. So anybody, there is a case where a person was exercising on the treadmill, again a true story, and he heard a news that some great director had died of a heart attack in a different city. So while he was running the treadmill, he stepped down there and then he sent a condolence message that, oh my God, he was such a great director and he passed off, heartfelt condolences. And while giving the message, after the message was delivered, he collapsed and died there. Oh my God, everybody is going to die. I don't know what's going to happen in life. The whole idea is it doesn't matter whether you are living or dying. Doesn't matter. Huh? Chinta chita saman. चिंता जिंदों को जलाती है, चिता मुर्दों को. Get rid of chinta. So while living, as it is, life itself is temporary. And whatever life I have, in that also, vidhi vyadhya abhimana grastam, full of what? Vidhi, come to know it, understand it as. Don't just talk. Don't just listen and say, ha sir, life is, people are going with a dead body to the cremation ground. While going to the cremation ground, everybody, especially the Hindus, they keep on saying, Ram Naam Satya Hai, Ram Naam Satya Hai. When they say Ram Naam Satya Hai, in some of the classes, I do this for fun. I tell them, please say Ram Naam Satya Hai. So they say, oh my God, you should not say that, sir. You should say it only when somebody is dead. When somebody is dead and 4 people are taking that person along, the words Ram Naam Satya Hai indicates to the world which is watching this person's body taken is, listen, only Ram ka naam Satya Hai. Only Ram. So we should not think about Krishna, we should not think about Jesus, it's not that. Any infinite reality, that great truth is the only real thing. Baki sab asat hai. So the whole thing is Ram Naam Satya hai, Baki sab asat hai. Where you look around, all the things he's collected materially. Huge businessman. All the emotions, relationships he's collected. All the so-called fan following he or she has collected. What happens? Next day, 2 days, chalo, month, gaya. It starts with a big banner outside, newspaper advertisement. Then after 1 week, the advertisement becomes smaller. And then somebody remembers that person. It's one line in a newspaper, or nowadays it's SMS. That's it. It is no consequence whatsoever. So itna sab jama karke, collected everything. But what came out of it? Nothing. Only Ram Naam Satya Hai. While going into the cremation ground, while the body is burning, you should listen to people talk. What is life? After all, dekho na, itna kamaya, so much he's earned. What happened? Ultimately, everybody has to go like this only. What to do? He can't do much. And as soon as the back is turned, while the pyre is still burning, mobile phone is on and you are talking about business. You are talking about some relationship. While in the cremation, while the pyre is burning right before you, this is the attitude. That shows how serious we are regarding death. If you continuously be serious regarding death, you will become a pessimistic person. We should not be that. Okay? Understand, even while living, can't you live happily? Vidhi, understand what? Majority of people. Vidhi vyadi, disease. Vidhi vyadhya abhimana grastam. From where does the vyadi come? Abhiman. What is the meaning of abhiman? There are 2 concepts. One is called abhiman and the other in Hindi is called swabhiman. Swabhiman is the respect which you give to the higher values of your own life. There are no compromises as far as higher values in my life is concerned. So if somebody says to compromise on my conscience of knowing what is right and what is wrong and choose the wrong, there are no takers. There is nothing. You will never compromise on that. This is called swabhiman, knowing what I am and who I am. When you know who you are, nothing in the world can upset you. Nobody in the world can insult you. Nobody. So somebody comes and tells me, I don't think you know much. And I have understood that I am a student and there is lots to learn. Isaac Newton, who was awarded the best scientist of the century, he makes the statement, I am but a little child wandering around the seashore of knowledge, where the whole ocean of knowledge lay before me undiscovered. This is from the person Isaac Newton. So what is my achievement? What is anybody's achievement compared to maybe Adi Shankaracharya or Paramahamsa or Vivekananda? Nothing. So when somebody says something to praise, I know where I am. When somebody comes to put me down, I know where I am. This is called self-respect. Respect of one's own self. Got it? This is called swabhiman. Abhiman. See the words, how they are used. Whoever has made the words, amazing. Abhiman, man means fame, an elevation. Abhiman, whatever I am now, feeling great about that. Now I have some acquisition. Now I have some assets. Now my son is doing so and so. Now my daughter is doing so and so. Now my parents have come to this high reputation. I have a house here. I have a bungalow there. I have a car here. I got a bigger car there. I got fleets of cars. All this I have now. And that now is abhi. And the beauty is what, in that abhi, things can change. In an instant, what I have now, in 2 seconds, it can change. Things can go wrong. It has happened in this country. It has happened already in this country. When there was partition, people were zamindars and they had lands right, left and center. When the partition happened, they completely became paupers. Everything was kept on that side, land and all the assets, and they had to literally come empty-handed and start all over again. This is so abhiman is the arrogance, the ego of look what all I have, and it is this abhiman that gets insulted. Why did he say that to me? As soon as you get insulted in that statement, the problem is what? There is a hint of truth in that statement. Because if it is untruth, you will not be bothered. Somebody comes to me and says something. If it is not true, why should I be bothered? You are a very selfish person. Think, am I a selfish person? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm selfish. Trying to be unselfish. That's it. You'll never get hurt. Let the other person have the opinion. So vidhi vyadhya abhimana grastam. Understand that all the disease has come from these mental problems of accepting all the kachara from relationships and the society in general. Just refuse. One taxi wala was going and passenger was there behind. So another car came right in front of him. So both of them were about to hit each other. The taxi wala, he applied the brakes and he looked at that car wala and said, sorry. Immediately the car wala gave bad words. This is an example. He gave bad words. And the taxi wala just did this and he like this and then he drove. So the other person is saying, what did you do? ये क्या किया आपने ऐसा ऐसा करके? तो बोलते नहीं नहीं सर, हम लोग जब ड्राइविंग करते हैं ना, when we drive, we meet all kinds of people. Some people laugh, some people smile, some people joke. Quite a lot of people also give bad words. You know, they have a very negative tendency. So when they throw that matter to me, when they throw that garbage to me, I take that garbage, fold it, and throw it out. I don't need it. What a beautiful lesson. If I can do that, all the garbage thrown at me from anybody, anywhere in the world, just accept it. Is it applicable to me? No. Throw it out. Throw it out. A letter comes to your house, and the letter, you look at the letter, it's an income tax notice. You open it, so, oh my God, it is notice. What, and you opened it, and you found out that you're defaulted 25 lakh rupees. Defaulted. You go in panic. And you say, oh my God, what has happened? What has happened? I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. What will happen? And you're going into all these repercussions. Your wife says, let me see the letter. And she sees the letter. And she says, Arey, apna nahi hai. Baju walo ka hai. And as soon as she says, apna nahi hai, baju, it is not us. It is theirs. Where does your stress go? In fact, sometimes you are happy. Good. That fellow deserved it. Stress disappears immediately. As soon as you relinquish any attitude saying this is mine, you are happy. You are happy. Understand this. So even while living with the vyadya abhimana grastam, full of pain and aches, not a single person in the world is there who doesn't have a physical problem. Not a single person. They may pretend that they don't have. Each and every stars, whether it's Indian or abroad, everybody goes through fractures and back pain and shoulder pain. Everybody. You know what's the only difference? Ramana Maharishi had cancer. Ramana Maharishi. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa had a problem. Adi Shankaracharya was bleeding by the age of 32. Vivekananda collapsed. Ram Tirtha died in a whirlpool. There are so many accidents that happened. So many diseases. The only difference is when the disease comes to a spiritual person, the spiritual person understands it is just a body. This is just a body. Body is like a vehicle. When my vehicle falls down, I send it to the service center and repair it, whatever be the cost. And after repairing, it comes back. It is my vehicle. Similarly, this is my body. Whenever some fault happens, repair it. Take care of it. Don't throw it away. Because it's a very valuable body. You have only one body. You don't have other bodies. But understand you are not the body. So they genuinely believe, the spiritual masters, I am the spirit which is functioning and acting through this equipment of this body right now. And like Vivekananda used to say, half an hour before his own death, he said, I may choose to work from outside this body if I find that the body is not fit enough to carry any further information. I will be in the plants, I will be in the trees, I will be in the breeze, I will be in the running brooks. I am everywhere. That spirit is everywhere. So there is no fear of death. Others, everything will pain one at a time. It's like in accounts, you say piecemeal distribution. Head is paining, eyes are paining, the nose are paining, the lips are paining, tongue up. It is systematically one, and it will go on. Provided two things you do. One, don't get affected by pain. And second, push yourself so that these kinds of pain do not occur. That's all. Vidhi vyadhya abhimana grastam. Lokam shokahatam cha samastam. Understand that the whole world is filled with shoka, sorrow. Don't believe me, you go to social occasions, they are laughing. Everybody laughs. Everybody's got a problem in their family. Each and everyone. And their whole thing is only focus on that. It is not that everybody is sad. Huh? It's not that everybody is sad. But majority are sad. Why? Because of what they focus on. I bring a blackboard before you. Supposing I bring a blackboard. And in that blackboard, I put a chalk pointer, a white dot, and say, what do you see? You'll say, a chalk piece, just a dot. Others will say, the blackboard. Where is your focus? That's what you are. If my focus throughout life has only been the tragedies that happened in my life, then your whole life will be only tragedy. You'll be sitting and crying over things which happened, which is happening, and which perchance will happen. Like one of the great philosophers says, I have a lot of problems in my life. I have had a lot of problems in my life, some of which actually happened. Meaning what? Majority of the time, the problem, if this happened, what? If that happened, what? If this will happen, then that will happen. If that will happen, then I'll do that. Then I'll do that. This is sorrow. Sitting on a sofa set with AC on, with every comfort in the world, it's an art to be miserable. Sitting and over what? Things which has not happened. I'm sitting and crying. Things which are happening, which is beyond my control, I'm sitting and crying. Which has happened, which I don't have anything to do now, I'm sitting and crying. With the vyadya, majority, vyadya abhimanagrastam, lokam shoka hatam. So how to get out of this sorrow? If this sorrow is there predominantly, where everybody is sitting and crying, how to get out of this? Understand that not everybody has a sorrowful state of living. First of all, understand what is death. Therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna starts his dialogue by explaining Arjuna what is death. Death is just change. Don't give so much importance to the physical body. It's a change. I love you. When a husband tells the wife, I love you, or the wife tells the husband, I love you, or you tell the children, or the children, what do you love? Do you love the actual physical personality, or do you love the idea of love? Because that idea of love can change anytime. The physical personality can change anytime. So what do you love? Therefore, never be afraid of death, because it is just a change from one personality to another. The spirit within me, when it finds that the body has become lazy, it has become sluggish, and I cannot do any work at all through this body, it decides to take another body. That's all. So I don't live here, I live somewhere else. I give simple example. I am wearing this kurta and I am giving you a lecture. Tomorrow, next Sunday, supposing all the kurtas what I wear is spoiled due to some reason, and I wear another kurta which is not a uniform and sit before you and give a lecture, will you call me another person? Will you call me another person? That no, he is a different person, that person. You will not do that. Why? It's just a change of garment. Person remains the same. Similarly, when the spirit, takes up another body, I remain the same. Only the vestures change. Only the covering has changed. Don't get so attached to the covering. You know what? Don't be afraid of death. In fact, Don't be afraid of change. Be ready for change. How many of you, including yours truly, have ever thought that a time will come where all the spiritual knowledge and all the teachings of all the schools and universities throughout the world is going to be going only in this factor, without personal meeting, through an internet or a mobile? How many of you envisaged that this is going to happen? But we accepted it and we changed. And tomorrow, if personality comes and we can meet together, we can do that also. You are always have a potential to change. So be ready for the change and never be afraid of death. There is this beautiful movie. I recommend everybody to see it. It's an English movie called Patch Adams. Okay? This Patch Adams is the original of the Hindi movie, which is Munna Bhai, I think so, MBBS or something like that. So that's the original. In that Patch Adams, he gives a last dialogue. And I have written that last dialogue. It's a beautiful dialogue. And just listen to it. We will send this, maybe the cutting or the typed version after the class, about what this man speaks of death. He actually considers living life should be full of humor. You should laugh and make everybody laughing till the end. No problem. What is the big deal? So this is the way he talks. He says, "What's wrong with death, sir?" He's addressing a group of doctors there. "Why are we so mortally afraid of? Why can't we treat death with a certain amount of humanity and dignity and decency, and God forbid, maybe even humor? Death is not the enemy, gentlemen. If we are going to fight a disease, let us fight one of the most terrible disease of all: indifference. Indifference. Any other disease is all right. It has got a solution. It's a body. Sometimes it doesn't have a solution. Chalta hai, kya kare? Doesn't matter. Terry Fox did not have one leg. Still he made a name for himself. There have been people who don't have anything physically. They still done great things. There are foot painters who paint only with their foot. There are so many things. But the worst thing is this indifference, where you are not bothered what's happening around you. It's really, really sad. When my food and drinks are taken care of, as far as my family is safe, I am really not bothered what's happening anywhere else. And with this indifferent attitude, intolerant attitude towards others, we don't know how to tolerate. We don't want to give anybody a voice. We don't want to listen to them. Even before the other person has started communicating and talking, we start talking. No, 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 actually, we bring that. No, 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 no. 10 times you'll say no, no, no. We don't allow the other person to express his or her opinion. We don't. We have a stifled opinion about what life is. You have to eat only this. If you don't eat this, you are bad. You have to drink only this. If you don't drink this, you are bad. You have to pray only to this God. If not, you are bad. You have to pray only in this church or mosque or temple. Otherwise, you are bad. So there are only two categories in the world. Either there are Hindus and there are non-Hindus. Either there are Christians or non-Christians. Either there are Muslims or non-Muslims. Hardly anybody is a human being. That's the sad part. Hardly anybody is a human being. Swami Ramatirth, give this example beautifully. He says, I have hardly seen a full human being in my life. Sab aadhe adhure. Everybody is associated with some ashram, some academy, some cloth, some mala, some chandan, some sect, and the only job is to put others down. Only job. The whole world wants. What does the whole world want? What do you think is the problem with the whole world? Whole world wants 2 rotis on their plate to eat. That's all. Every parent wants their child is fed nicely, gets a good education. Nahi hai. It's not there. The worst thing is not it's not there. The worst thing is we don't notice. We just don't notice. Because I am taken care of. There's this beautiful book I'll recommend to read. This is from Morton Rue. The book is called The Wave. In that wave, it's a true story, where in one of the cities in, I think so, US, if I'm not wrong, there was this history class going on. And in this history class, the teacher showed a documentary of Hitler, and he showed that the party of Hitler, which is the Nazis, have destroyed and killed so many Jews. 10 lakh people, 10 lakh Jews, that is 1 million Jews, more or less, have been just charred and burnt into the furnace and died, killed. And this was the history. And everybody was watching that documentary in horror in that class. It's 11th standard students or something. One girl raised her hand. She said, "Sir, I got a question." She said, "Yes." And what a question it was. She said, Hitler was one. He had a very small party, which were the Nazis. That was hardly 7 to 8% of the total population. And they were the ones who did all this. She asked, what were the other people doing? So many people, right? All over that country, everybody must be knowing what's happening. What were they doing when they know this is happening? Indifference. As far as it doesn't come to my life, I'm all right. Biggest disease in any country is indifference. Therefore, when you associate, so when he's talking about Vidhi, Vyadya, Bhimana, Grastam, it's a sorrow everywhere. Sorrow is because of this disease. It is not because of death. It is not because of physical problem. But when somebody is going through something, do I have an attitude of at least saying, what can I do for you? Is there a possibility to look outside my own selfish ends in life and see something different? Vidhi Vyadya Abhimana Grastam Lokam Shokahatam Chasamastam. You go on to the next verse. Yavadvitto Parjana Saktah Tavan Nija Parivaro Ratah Pascha Jivati Jara Jara De Vartanko Pina Prichati Ge. As long as one is capable of earning wealth, so long your own family is pleasant. Later, when living in an infirm body, no one speaks to him at home. How true it is. Those who have experienced. So some of the senior citizens, when they listen to me, they say, "Sir, bilkul barabar." Exactly, this is what is happening. This is not happening everywhere. Everywhere it is happening, all over the world. It's not about India. Yavat vitto parjana saktah. Until, not money is there. It's not about money. Until there is a potentiality of your earning something. Until there is a potentiality that you are going to be some help for me. So that how can I take advantage of you? Physically, either emotionally or intellectually, some help you can give. Till then, people will respect you. Till then, people will respect you. Parivaro Rakta. People will be pleasant. How are you? I'm fine. Really? Everything is okay? Okay. Because there is a potential, not only wealth, chances are I may not have wealth, but there's a potential that this person can do something. Therefore, we used to go to marriages long time back, but now we are not going to any marriages, because what happens was husband and wife were standing there, and Hindu custom, they are always diving at everybody's feet, so why to make them so struggle? So we don't allow. But when I went 20 years back to one marriage, there this husband and wife were there, and there was a principal of one of the schools behind me. So they didn't touch my feet also. They said namaskar. I also said namaskar. I was about to go. And the husband immediately told the wife, she is the principal of that school. And the way the wife dived inside to touch her feet, I was shocked at the speed. And I heard the husband telling, after the lady went, ye aage kaam aayenge. Marriage time on the dais, you are already thinking about where this lady is going to help us eventually after 2-3 years. The potential of help. This is what is important. The potential. So when you have money, people are there respecting around you. Whatever be the age, people will be there. Don't worry. Huh? A person was walking around in the beach, and everybody were coming opposite, and they said namaste, and he said bol dunga. And somebody said and said, good morning sir. I said, I'll tell. And somebody said, kaise sab theek hai? I'll tell. And he kept on saying tell. So friend by the side, he said, what are you saying? They are saying good morning. Why can't you say good morning? What is it? I'll tell. Namaste, bol dunga. What is it? Bol dunga, tell. So he said, no, you don't understand. I was one in complete penury. I didn't have any money. I didn't have any support system. And these very people were there. They knew me, but nobody greeted me. Not a single person greeted me. They came and said, excuse me, how are you? Can I be of some help or assistance? Not a single person came. Now, when I got a name for myself, now when I got money in my safe, these guys have come to know that I have come from an esteemed background. Now they are saying good morning. Now they are saying kaise hai. Therefore, I know one thing. They are not telling good morning to me. They are telling good morning to my safe or tijori. Therefore, I tell them, bol dunga. I will tell my safe that you said good morning. Because all the good mornings and good nights and all the social occasions, it's only on that. If you don't have anything, nobody is bothered. So even the potentiality of not doing anything in the society, you'll be chucked out by the society. What happens when you get old? You tell me. By the time you are 25, everybody is running around you. You become the center of attraction. By the time you are 50, your all around people are there because of your assets and name. By the time you go more into 75, slowly, all the assets have been given away to people around. Now your demand becomes less. And ultimately, when living in an infirm body, no one speaks to him at home. At home also nobody speaks. Literally. And you can't hear. Therefore, after a particular age, the hearing stops. It's God's way of telling you, stop listening to nonsense. But no, we are not there. We put hearing aids and want to listen to all the nonsense. Huh? Huh? What did you say? How are you, auntie? Huh? How are you? No rain, no. Therefore, all this heat is there. Now I'm asking, how are you? That what? बारिश आएगा सब ठीक हो जाएगा. He is saying something else. You are listening something else. Ultimately, everybody gives up and saying, "Achhi hai, theek hai, okay, at least, theek hai na, theek hai, okay, okay, bye," and they run off. When you are in infirm body, nobody comes to have a look at you. This is the world. Why this is the world? Because when you live a life completely focused on materiality and sensuality, when you value only the world and its name, form, and attraction, then eventually, when they are not there with you, you are going to be upset. Why are you happy? Show me one person who just raises the hand and says, "I am happy because I want to be happy. Whether anything happens or not, I am happy, sir." गीत गाता हूं मैं, गुनगुनाता हूं मैंने हंसने का वादा किया था कभी. I had promised myself long time back, I am going to always smile and be happy. Therefore, I am happy. Hardly anybody. Why am I happy? You know, I'm so happy because I have made my husband literally Rama. Initially, he was Ravana, but I trained him and he is a Rama now. And he remains Rama for 5 years, 6 years, until one day Rama goes to take bath and Sita Mata by accident sees an SMS which says, "I miss you already, darling." Suddenly, when from bathroom Rama comes, he's developed 10 heads. He's become Ravana. I've got 2 beautiful children. My life is that to just devote myself to these children, sir. If today I am happy because I have money, then tomorrow, because of the lack of it, I will be miserable. If today, because of my family, I am happy, tomorrow something goes wrong there or they go in their own separate ways, I will be miserable. Therefore, an intelligent person is one who gives up the world before the world gives him or her up. Kya baat hai? He gives up the world before the world. All the importance doesn't matter. I am happy with or without. There is this old lady I saw in YouTube, 98, I think so, and she is doing yoga. She is doing yoga, and she says, at that age, the only thing that is there with you is your own hands and legs. And until I live and until I die, till that last day, I want my hands and legs in working condition. Look at that. No dependency on anybody. You can take anybody's help to become a better person, physically, emotionally, and intellectually. But there is no dependency. Such a person is always constantly happy. You don't look out for a life of happiness. You look out for moments where you are happy now. If each and every moment I'm happy now, I don't look out for when the happiness is going to come. Constantly you are happy. Now, when the vittam is there, potential is there, people respect. But if the potential is not there, in that infirm body, that's what is important. Infirm matlab, abhi kamane ka potential bhi khatam ho gaya. Now you are no more a use to the society. When you are no more a use to the society will reject you. It's as easy as that. And when the society rejects you, do you have the strength to be happy with or without it? Rathya Charpata will do, Bhaja Govindam, it will come. A sage is a person who is wearing dirty, ragged clothes. He is not eating anything. He is sleeping under the stars, and yet he is happy. We are supposed to reach that state. The first step, as mentioned in that Patch Adams thing, forget about all fear. If the body is diseased, there is some problem, rectify it. But please, please, never be indifferent and intolerant to others. There's a great philosopher on his deathbed. He was asked this question. He said, "You have studied all the granthas, all the scriptures of the world, and you are in your deathbed now. In this last dying moments, can you give some word of advice?" He says, "Yes." And the famous last 7 words of Herbert Spencer, last 7 words: "Let us be kinder to one another." Just an allowance for the other person to speak, just an allowance for the other person to show the emotion. Just listen and you focus on your growth. Things will change, it will become beautiful. You will experience the life which you hitherto, abhi tak, you have not experienced. Till now, we have seen a different kind of a life of expectations and attachments. Here will come a life where it becomes superb, no stress point, no tension and no agitation at all throughout your life. It is not a promise, but it is the real deal. This will happen. It's not a politician's promise. This will happen, provided you take it seriously. Don't take it from me, take it from Adi Shankaracharya. In fact, Adi Shankaracharya also studied from his guru. It's coming from a pratha. These guys were not mad. So apply that in your life. Try to experiment it. If you don't find a difference in your life towards the better living, I will stop teaching. That's my faith in the knowledge, provided you have the same faith. Thank you very much. Hari.